Wine stood at the grand altar dressed in an elegant white gown, her finger trembling as she clutched the bouquet. Across from her, Jungkook stood tall in his perfectly tailored black suit, his face devoid of emotion. His sharp eye held no warmth, no happiness, only quiet indifference. This wasn't a love story, this was a business arrangement. She had been chosen by his family to be his wife, a replacement for the woman he had lost. Jungkook hadn't objected to the marriage, nor he had welcomed it. He simply accepted it as a necessary burden. Wine, on the other hand, had no choice. As the priest pronounced them as husband and wife, she waited for him to at least meet her gaze. But Jungkook merely turned away, his silence cutting deeper than words ever would. It was a cold beginning, but Wine never expected the warmth to come from an unexpected place. The Jeon mansion was a place of cold elegance, high ceiling, expensive chandelier, and walls painted in a shade of white and grey. It was breathtakingly beautiful, yet it felt empty, like a house instead of home. Wine had barely set her bags down when a small voice caught her attention. Peeking from behind the grand staircase was a little girl, her big round eyes filled with curiosity and a hint of furnace. Wine froze. She had known that Jungkook had a daughter. It was the one thing that she had been told before marrying him. But this was the first time she was actually seeing her. The girl was tiny, her dark curls bouncing as she shifted her weight from foot to foot, her lips pressed together in a pout, deep in thought as if she was carefully assessing the stranger in her home. Slowly, Wine knelt down to her level. "Hello there," she said softly, offering the warmest smile she could muster. The little girl remained silent for a moment before taking a hesitant step. "Who are you?" Wine heard clench at the question. She should have expected it. How do you know? Explain to a child that her new mother, not by choice, not by love, but by an arrangement made by adult who saw marriage as a business deal. But before Wine could think of a gentle way to phrase it, the little girl asked another question. "Are you my new mommy?" Wine breath caught. She wasn't expecting that. The girl's voice wasn't accusing or angry. If anything, it was filled with something fragile, hope. Wine hesitated. "Would you like me to be?" There was a pause. Then suddenly a beaming smile stretched across the little girl's face. "Yes," she squealed, running towards Wine and wrapping her tiny arms around her. "I always wanted a mommy." Wine blinked in a shock as the little girl buried her face in her neck, clinging to her as if she had known her forever. Warmth spread through Wine's chest. She hadn't expected such an immediate bond. "You smell nice," the girl giggled. A soft chuckle escaped Wine's lips. "And you give a very good hugs." The girl pulled back, her cheek flushed with excitement. "My name is Hannah, but you can call me baby if you want." Wine heard mental. "Hannah, that's a beautiful name." Just then a sharp voice interrupted the moment. "Hannah." The warmth in Wine's chest disappeared instantly. She turned to see Jungkook standing at the top of the stair. He was watching them with an unreadable expression, his dark eye flickering between her and his daughter. His jaw was tense, his hand shoved into his pocket, and if he had walked in something he wasn't sure how to process. Hannah beamed. "Daddy, Mommy is so pretty." Wine stiffened. Jungkook's expression hardened. His gaze met Wine's, but he said nothing. Then, without another word, he turned and walked away. Wine felt a sharp sting in his chest, not a single acknowledgement, not even a glance toward Hannah. Her hand instinctively tightened around the little girl, as if shielding her from the coldness her father exuded. Hannah, however, seemed unaffected. She huffed and crossed her arms. "Daddy is grumpy. But don't worry, Mommy, I'll make him love you." Wine's eyes widened. "Hannah?" "I promise," Hannah declared proudly. "I am very, very smart." Wine let out a soft sigh, brushing Hannah's curls from her face. "You are, aren't you?" Hannah nodded eagerly, and as Wine held her close, she realized something. In a house filled with silence and cold cages, this little girl was the only warmth she had. The Jeon mansion was massive, yet despite its size, Wyan could feel the invisible wall Jungkook had built between them. Days passed and the pattern remained the same. Jungkook barely spoke to her. He left early in the morning, spent hour locked away in his study, and only returned late at night when he thought she was asleep. Wyan was used to being ignored by him. What she wasn't used to, however, was the overwhelming attachment of his daughter, Hana. She adored her. The little girl followed her everywhere, holding her hands, calling her mommy without hesitation. She demanded bedtime stories, wanted Wine to sit here with her during meals, and even refused to let the maids trust her, insist that mommy should do it. And despite the cool distance between her and Jungkook, Wine found comfort in the unconditional love of his tiny human. But Hana wasn't just affectionate, she was also incredibly mischievous, and one thing was clear, Hana was determined to make her father and Wine closer. It started on a quiet evening. Wine had gathered enough courage to approach Jungkook's study, intending to talk about Hana's school arrangement. She knocked twice before curiously stepping inside. Jungkook's eye clicked. The sound of the lock echoed through the room. Jungkook had snapped up from his laptop. His sharp eye narrowed. "Did you just lock the door?" Wine frowned. "No." A giggle from outside made them both freeze. "Oops, I lost the key." Hana's playful voice rang through the door. Wine's stomach dropped. "Hana, open the door." "No," Jungkook exhaled sharply, rubbing his temple. "Hana, this isn't funny. Unlock the door." "You two need to talk," she announced proudly. Wine groaned. "Hana, I swear. I will come back later. Have fun." Her tiny footstep faded down the hall. Wine turned to Jungkook, her hands on her hips. "What do we do now?" Jungkook leaned back in his chair, unbothered. "We wait until she decides to unlock it." Wine crossed her arms. "This is your fault, you know. She wouldn't have done this if you actually spoke to me like a normal person." Jungkook sighed, looking away. "I don't see the point in unnecessary conversation." Wine scooped. "Unnecessary? I'm your wife." He clenched his jaw. "Not by choice." The word stung. Wine turned away, her finger curled into fist. "Right, how could I forget? I'm just a replacement." The silence between them stretched. After an hour of tense quiet, Hana finally returned. She unlocked the door, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "Did you fall in love yet?" "Wine, Hana." "Jungkook, go to bed." Hana giggled and skipped away, leaving behind two frustrated adults. The cuddle trap. One night, Wine woke up to tiny footsteps padding towards her bed. "Mommy," Hana's soft voice called. Wine sat up, rubbing her eyes. "What is it, baby?" Hana clutched her stuffed bunny. "Can I sleep with you?" Wine smiled and pulled her into a bed, but before they could settle, Hana suddenly gasped dramatically. "Wait, let's go sleep with Daddy instead." Wine blinked. "What?" Hana grabbed her hand. "Daddy sleep alone all the time. That's sad. Let's go." Before Wine could protest, Hana had already dragged her towards Jungkook's bedroom. The door cracked open. Jungkook was half asleep, his hair tousled, his white shirt slightly unbuttoned, his tired eyes barely registered Wine before. Hana climbed into the bed and nestled between them. "Mommy and Daddy should sleep together," she declared, snuggling into the blanket. Wine's face turned scarlet. "Hana," Jungkook let out a long sigh. "What is she doing here?" she insisted. He glanced between them before rubbing his forehead. "Fine, but stay on your side." Wine hesitated before laying down. The room was silent for Hana, soft breathing, and for the first time, Jungkook and Maya were in the same bed. Hana decided it was a time to take things up a notch. The afternoon, while playing outside, she suddenly let out a loud, dramatic cry. "Mommy, Daddy, I fell." Wine and Jungkook rushed to her, panic flashing across their faces. Wine knelt down immediately, searching for injuries. Jungkook crouched beside them, his hands reaching out at the same time. Their fingers brushed. Time seemed to stop. Wine's breath hitched as their eyes met. Jungkook's gaze flickered down to her lips, his finger twitching against her. A strange heat spread them. Hana, watching, smoked. "Kiss," she whispered. Jungkook snapped out of his and pulled back instantly. You're fine, Hannah sighed dramatically. Almost work. Despite Hannah's scheme, Jungkook remained distant, but everything changed in a single moment of misunderstanding. That evening, Jungkook received an anonymous call. Your wife is cheating on you. His grip on the phone tightened, and then he saw it. Through the garden window, Wine was talking to another man. She laughed. He touched her wrist. Jungkook's vision blurred with rage when Wine walked inside. He was waiting. Who was he? His voice was sharp. Wine frowned. Jungkook, he is just. Don't lie to me. Before she could react, his palm connected with her cheek. The slap echoed through the room. A sharp gasp filled the air. Mommy? Hannah stood at the top of the stairs, her small face twisted in horror. Wine's eyes burned with unshed tears. She turned to Hannah, forcing a smile. It's okay, sweetheart. But Hannah wasn't fooled. She ran down, clutching Wine's hands. Daddy, say sorry. Jungkook's hands trembled. What had he done? Wine looked at him with nothing but pain. I loved you, Jungkook, but you will never love me back. Will you? Hannah sobbed. Mommy, don't leave. Wine knelt, cupping Hannah's face. I love you, baby. Jungkook felt something shattered inside him. The woman he had ignored, the woman he had doubted. She was the one who had ever truly loved his daughter, and now he might have lost them both.